What time is it?
It's time for art!
Kindergarten and first grade, welcome back. We've been talking about African environments. We've done 2 weeks of Kapiti Plain and Savannah. This is our second week of an African jungle. What we are going to do today is draw an African animal. But first I wanted to read you this book. Bill and Pete Go Down the Nile, written and illustrated by Tommy DePola. Tomorrow was the first day of school, and William Everett Crocodile, who was called Bill, and his friend Pete, who was his toothbrush, were getting ready. "Don't forget your new pencil box, Bill," said Mama. "And your new lunchbox," said Pete. "It'll be so nice to see Miss Ibis again, Mama," said Bill. "I wonder what you'll learn this year," said Mama. "Now, class," said Miss Ibis, "we are going to start this school year by studying the history and geography of Egypt and the River Nile." "Oh, goody!" cried all the children. "What did you learn today, Bill?" asked Mama. "We learned all about the River Nile, Mama," said Bill. "It's nice to learn about your hometown," said Mama. On Tuesday, Miss Ibis told the class about the Sphinx. "Today we learned about the Stinks, Mama," said Bill. "You mean Sphinx, Bill," said Pete. "And boy, is it weird looking." On Wednesday, Miss Ibis told the class all about the pharaohs, the pyramids, and mummies. "The pharaohs built the pyramids so they could be buried there with all their riches," Miss Ibis told them. "When they died, they were wrapped up in long strips of cloth and called mummies. The mummy was put in a beautiful case called a sarcophagus." "What did you learn today, Bill?" asked Mama. "Oh, Mama, we learned about the pharaohs and the pyramids," said Bill. "We learned about mummies and esophaguses." "You mean sarcophaguses," said Pete. "How exciting," said Mama. On Thursday, Miss Ibis told the class about the sacred eye of Isis. "It is the most valuable jewel in all the world," said Miss Ibis. "Ooh," said all the little crocodiles. "But," she added, "there is a saying that whoever owns it has bad luck." "Ooh," said all the little crocodiles. "That's why it is kept in the Royal Museum," said Miss Ibis. "Now, how would you like to see the Sphinx, the pyramids, and the sacred eye of Isis?" "Oh, yes," said all the little crocodiles. "Well, tomorrow we are going to take a class trip down the Nile." "Hooray!" they all shouted. "Do you have your lunchbox?" asked Mama. "Yes, Mama," said Bill. "Now, Pete, don't forget to brush Bill's teeth," said Mama. "I won't," said Pete. "Have a good time and listen to Miss Ibis and do what she says," said Mama. "Goodbye, Mama," said Bill and Pete. "Does everybody have their partners?" Miss Ibis asked. "Yes, Miss Ibis," the crocodiles answered. "Then forward, swim!" "Ooh," said all the little crocodiles. "There's the Grand Hotel." "Ooh," said all the little crocodiles. "There's the Sphinx." "Bill," said Pete, "look at that man in the big car with all the ladies." "He must be a pharaoh," said Bill. "Watch out for the bad guy," whispered an old crocodile to Bill and Pete as he swam by. "Stay in line," said Miss Ibis as the Nile Queen went by. "Ooh," said all the little crocodiles. "Here we are at the pyramids," said Miss Ibis as the class stepped ashore. Miss Ibis bought the tickets and they all went inside. "The guide will hold a big mirror to help light up the passageway so that we can see," Miss Ibis explained to the class. "Now, as I told you all, the mummies and all the riches are no longer kept here. They are in the Royal Museum, which we will visit next, and where we will see the sacred eye of Isis." Ooh. said all the little crocodiles. The class saw mummies and sarcophaguses and the sacred eye of Isis. "There's that man again, Bill," whispered Pete. "He sure looks familiar." And they sat down to eat their lunch. "Miss Ibis, may I be excused, please?" said Bill. And he and Pete went inside to find a restroom to brush Bill's teeth. "Aha, look, Bill," said Pete. "I thought I recognized him, the bad guy." "Oh, Mr. Bad Guy, don't," cried Bill. "You'll have bad luck." "Be quiet, you walking suitcase," yelled the bad guy, and he locked Bill inside a sarcophagus. "You can't do that to my friend," shouted Pete, and he flew into the restroom to get some toilet paper. "Take that," said Pete, and he flew around and around, and presto, the bad guy was a mummy. Then Pete untied a guard who let Bill out of the sarcophagus. "Where have you been, William Everett?" scolded Mrs. Ibis. "Why, these two fine fellows saved the sacred eye of Isis from falling into evil hands," said the head of the museum. "The bad guy is being taken to Cairo and put in jail. As a reward, we're going to send you all home on the Nile Queen." "Ooh," said all the little crocodiles. "And so, Mama, that's what happened on our first-class trip," said Bill. "My goodness," said Mama, "what an adventure." "And Mrs. Ibis was right," said Bill. "The sacred eye of Isis does bring bad luck, especially to bad guys," said Pete. The end. What I'm going to do right now is draw a gorilla, but you could draw other different kinds of animals. You can copy my gorilla, like I'm doing here, with his face and his arms and his body, and you can copy the colors, or you can do your own. Draw an animal that could be found in the African jungle. Here's a variety of other animals that you can draw. When you're done, we are just going to cut it out and glue it on our jungle. And that's going to be it for this week. See you next week. Bye. So some of you might be wondering why I use different color markers. In the last pro tip, I talked about how when you're making a picture this big, different color markers make it easy to see what different things you're painting when you're painting that big. Like, it's a lot easier on a smaller piece of paper to not get confused, and it's a lot easier to get confused on a giant picture. So if I say, color those trees that are green, or color that sky that's blue, or even, different leaves or different color shamrocks, different elements within the picture, it's easy to not be confused. You may be wondering why I'm using red for the leprechauns. Well, it's taken me a long time painting murals to realize this, but I've got to draw these leprechauns a bunch of times. Draw them on paper, draw them on the wall, paint them, draw them again with paint. And what I've realized is something my mom told me when I was a very young kid eating popsicles: be careful, red stains. So just by using this color red marker, I know that when the 5th graders helped me paint this, to paint all the characters white as a base, and I'll explain that in another pro tip, that the red, for whatever reason, shows through the white. So I don't have to constantly rethink it as I'm drawing it. So I guess that's my pro tip to you. Use different color markers when you're drawing a bunch of things on a wall, and try to save red for the characters that have details that you're going to want to retrace later. Bonus points! Today, kindergarten and first grade, today I read you Bill and Pete Go Down the Nile by Tommy DePaulo. When was that book published? Just tell me that. See you next time. Bye.